Hey, what's going on, family and friends, and all of those who follow this guy known as Father Lock? Thank you for being in the bed with CED, because I'm not Father Lock right now. I'm just regular Cedric, for those who didn't know my actual name. And today, you all, by way of what you see in the video, you see the title, and the question is, why aren't they looking at Brandy? And the reason why I'm saying this, and I got asked this and what my opinions was on it, you all, because with all these things, if you are not privy to know, or you are, about what's going on in the business with Diddy, P. Diddy, we know as Puff Daddy, and everything that's coming out about the indictments and all these allegations against him and what he's done to people in the business and so on and so forth. And people are exposing him for it. And now they said, with this exposal, he has documented proof by way of camera footage of everybody in the business that has been at his parties and found themselves in doing things, illegal things, and in very compromising positions that he's willing to put on the forefront if they don't leave him be. So now with all that happening, now they done brought up Whitney Houston's death. Now the whole thing surrounding Whitney's death has been brought back up. Hence the reason why people are asking me, what do I think about this? And I'm going to tell you all now. I think Whitney Houston's death has been solved years ago. And how it got solved? By the very people that took her out. They gave it to you right in your faces, and nobody ever paid attention, and they still haven't. And let me take you into it. So let's go back a bit, back to the beginning of when Ray J and Whitney started fooling around. Now, before we get to that point, I'll take you back a little bit further. Now, in this union of relationships, we all know that Brandy had a bigger relationship with Whitney a long time ago before Ray J was be able to come into play, because he wasn't old enough to be dating Whitney at that time, because Brandy herself was still quite young, and that's her little brother. And she's been in films with Whitney, has done songs with Whitney, so they pretty much have this close-knit relationship. Now let's come a little bit forward back to where we stopped at. Let's come back to our stop of Whitney and Ray J's relationship. Now, they had their relationship, but when it first started off, he said they were just friends. And then a little bit down into it, I guess from having so much pressure about it and people just wouldn't leave it alone. Are you telling the truth about it? He just went on and came out about it. We are dating. Now, they dated for a while, and I guess something went wrong because they broke up. And after that breakup, down the line somewhere, an interview was done. And Ray J got asked, was he happy with Whitney in the time that he dated her? And he said, no, I was not happy one day. Yeah, he wasn't happy one day. Okay, now, with that being said, here we come in further. And there was an interview done with Brandy and Clive Davis, Whitney's management and handler, as I like to say. Now, Whitney pops into this interview, and you can clearly tell that she appeared anxious, afraid, trying to hurry up and say what she had to say to Clive and the interviewer and this and the other, and she had a note in her hand. And she hurried up and she gives it to Brandy, and here, Brandy, this is for you, and this and that, and she hurries up and leaves. What was in that note she gave to Brandy? Could it be her knowing who was about to kill her? And she entrusted Brandy with that knowledge? Now, here's this. Of all the people, if that's what was in that note, why wouldn't she take it to the authorities? If it's just a random person, if this is what I'm saying, of course you would give it to Brandy, because I think Whitney already knew who was trying to kill her. And if it was who they think is, because everybody allegedly think it's Ray J, wouldn't she tell Brandy that? Because why would Brandy want her brother to commit a heinous crime like that, number one, and against somebody that she thinks love her, that she loves? And Whitney would definitely trust that with someone that she thinks love her. Because she would think Brandy would have stopped her brother. Why would she allow her brother to commit a crime like that? And then against me. Brandy loves me. I love her. She wouldn't let this be. And that's what I think what was in the note. Let's go on forward to the Grammy party, y'all. And we're at the pre-Grammy party. And everybody is around, all the celebrities and this and that and the other, and the press is there, and they're going around to different celebrities asking them about that night and who they think is going to win an award. And, you know, they start giving them their stripes to all the men who did good in the business as actors, and then start giving out all the flowers to the different females they were talking to for what they did in the business as actresses and stuff like that. And then they asked them, you know, what was their next move in their career, you know, what was their next business endeavor, what was their next plan. And then they get to Brandy. And they did the same thing to her, you know, asking her about that night, who she think would win. You know, they gave her little flowers for her contributing in the business as a singer and an actress in her own little right. And then they asked her next business endeavor in her career and what was her next move. And she says, I think Hollywood should do a movie about the tragic deaths of black female singers because I would love to play Whitney. I got her down packed. I got all her isms. I know all her songs. I would have to lip sync to them in the movie because I'm no Whitney, you know, but I would love to play Whitney. Whitney's not dead yet. And even if she does die, who's to say she's going to die tragically? And you say this that night. The only way someone can be for certain how you die is if they're the reason you died that way. Maybe she knew in that note what tragic way Whitney was gonna go. And I truly believe when she made that statement, that was her way of putting it out there to all the big name producers that was there, that I want that role. I want to play her because they know, and you all know as well, every time someone in the business passed away that was an icon and something big in the business, and we love them greatly as an artist, they always do some type of tribute to them, a movie, a biopic of some sort, and to show their appreciation to this person and honor them. So of course there would be a big movie that would come out about Whitney. You was already putting your bid in. And then hours later, Whitney ends up dead. And Brandy was the first to find her. Now let's go ahead and tack these two staples together. Ray J was the last person with her alive. Brandy was the first person to find her dead. Was she trying to? Why would you be looking for Whitney? This the pre-Grammy party. You know eventually she gonna come downstairs if she either gotta perform or coming down to mingle. What are you going to look for, folks? Were you going to go see because you knew what the note said? Was you going to try to warn her that the people that were trying to kill her were there already? Were you trying to go to try to warn her to leave or try to go and be with her so it couldn't happen? Were you trying to go see was the deed complete yet? Because when they found her, why would your brother be leaving and the press be taking him away, or the police or whomever that was taking him away, any other his handlers, and he's covering his face? If you had done nothing wrong, what do you need to be covering your face for? And why on earth would Whitney have died in a tub full of scalding hot water? Now, who in their right mind would believe that someone who has been said their body is weak and beat up from all the alcohol use and drug use, and they got all these health problems now, would even have the slightest of strength to submerge their entire body, y'all, in scalding hot water and can just sit there and just drown in it? Even if she put herself in there, supposedly, allegedly, put herself in there head first, how are you able to put your face in scalding hot water without having to back away from the pain of it? That scalding hot water she was in, y'all, was to wipe away any type of DNA or any type of fingerprints that were on her. You can't find fingerprints on oil that is not there no more. See, that's how they find our fingerprints. It leaves oil from the oils in our skin. And it leaves an indent. It leaves that print. Hot scalding water wipe away oil. And even in all DNA that was on her. So they can't extract any cells from any DNA because the hot water has killed them. So there's nothing to analyze. The scalding hot water killed the cells and washed away anything on her that could be used to incriminate somebody. Y'all don't see that? They didn't see that. And then I'm sure this interview has been seen by people. And hence the reason why you can't find it now. Now, if there was no reason to take this interview down, why would it have not been able to be seen, y'all? Out of all the interviews that have been out, it's people right now exposing folks. I thought that was defamating somebody. You can't just be exposing nobody's business like that without their consent, first and foremost, and that's defamating them. There's laws against that, and not one video has been taken down about nobody exposing nobody, none of this. The only thing she said is she wanted to play Whitney Houston. What's so incriminating about that? It wouldn't have been. But you gave the title of the film you would like to play in playing her. And there is no way that anybody would have thought to call her name of a person that ain't even dead yet, talking about playing them in a movie about their tragic death. And then, how would you know her death would be a tragic one? She could just pass away. What's tragic death? Unless you had something to do with it. And I truly believe that. And they're so focused on Ray J. And it's like, I thought when someone has been perceived to be murdered, unalived, let me say unalived. You know, they don't like for you to say the actual thing, which is stupid to me. That the closest people to this person, everybody that's the closest people to this person, is watched and has been made a suspect until you are ruled out a suspect. So why just Ray J? And now you having this mental break all of a sudden. Oh, I'm just thinking about Whitney and I just can't. You having a mental break and emotional break about somebody you said you wasn't happy with now that you was with them. Many years later after they done died. But none of these type of feelings was expressed at no point when she died in the beginning. Nothing of these type of emotions was shown at all when she first died. What I saw you doing was hiding your face, running away from the scene. Not breaking down, crying, oh, I miss my friend, I just missed her so much. But many years later, all of a sudden, she's just this thing you just can't live without. You just can't get her out of your mind. You just having this emotional attack, emotional break. You want to unalive yourself now, because that's what he said he wants to do. He wants to unalive himself. No, you saying all this for cap, because you know they got some shit on you that's all in them videos that's with Diddy, and now you trying to do some shit, because if it's come out something about Whitney, now you're trying to make it seem like you loved her so much and this and that and the other, so it won't look like you would ever do anything like that to her, bro. Stop. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. Your ass did it. And she helped you. And that's just the bottom line. Because movies about Whitney right after that, and she died, actually came out, a few of them. Why ain't Brandy in one of them? Why she ain't in not one of them? Because that bitch knew not to take that role. You make that statement, and Whitney died tragically, and then they do a movie like that, and you take that role, why the fuck wouldn't you look suspect after that? That's why you didn't take one. Because if you wanted to play Whitney, these movies wasn't about her death. They were just about her life. Why wouldn't you still want to take that chance? It's still Whitney. And I'm sure they offered it to you. Bitch, you knew not to take that role, because that would just put the cap on the bottle with that whole thing in there saying, they would just put the cap, just cap it right on the bottle to ship it on off to the people to find and know that you did it. Read the note and said it. Brandy did it. And he helped. Because that just makes purpose. Why wouldn't you? If you loved Whitney like that, and you've been around like that long, you already made a statement that you would like to play her. Why would you let some actor that don't know anything about her, ain't been around her, and do anything with her, possibly get in this movie and misrepresent her? When you can actually do it, since you say you know her isms, you got her down packed and all this and that, and you can make sure she get authentically represented, and we can appreciate that, instead of leaving the faith that she would be portrayed perfectly by some actress who had no type of affiliation with her whatsoever, and you've known her ever since you were a child, and you wouldn't want to take that opportunity to play her. Now that she's dead, it wasn't a movie about her tragic death. Is that why? Because it wasn't about a tragic death for Whitney? I would have wanted to still play her. Because then maybe that would disassociate you from what you said, the type of movie you wanted to play in that would be honoring her. Why not a biopic about her that's clear and steer away from her dying, just showing the midpoints of the great things in Whitney's life? Why wouldn't you want that opportunity? Because you didn't want to do it in the beginning, bitch. That was your cap to not look guilty. You want to play her. Why would I want to take out someone I wanted to play? I loved her so much. Ray J. Why would I want to do anything harmful to her? I love her. I loved her. I'm just having this mental break. I feel like I just want to unalive myself. Why? With hopes that you would go to her. Y'all some fake ass bitches, and y'all helped did that shit, if not the people who did it. And what's crazy about it is none of these interviews can be found, which makes me even believe it more. So there you have it. My opinion on what went on, and why I think that her death was solved many years ago by the very people who took it out. I'll remember that, y'all. You can't see things that's that close to your face. And that's a true saying. You can't see things right under your nose. It's under your nose. Do you see that? No, you can't. Have a great day, my babies. I love y'all. And to all that ask me, you have my opinion. And that is my conspiracy theory. I'll talk to y'all later.